Two things can be true at once. Hollywood can be a horrible place filled with bad people, and Monique can be toxic. And she likes to mask that toxicity with so-called truth-telling and my sweet babies at the end.
I love y'all for real, my babies.
I can't help but to feel like Monique is full of it, especially since the recent events between her and her son in the Club Shay Shay interview. The response to her son's video is confirmation that maybe everything isn't as it seems, and her husband doesn't help her case. There's nothing wrong with the husband being there for a wife, but it's something off about Monique and Sidney.
A lot of black women would say, why do you call him daddy? Because he's raising me. He's raising me.
She calls him daddy because he's raising her? I guess, but the whole thing screams codependent to me. This is the same woman that weaponized D.L. Hughley's daughter's essay because she was beefing with him, and she was also essayed herself. People want to give her a pass in the name of truth-telling. Make it make sense. Monique's son Shalon is telling his truth, and instead of talking about the root of the issue, she'd rather talk about monetary things, Oprah and Tyler. The whole response video was so odd because the industry has nothing to do with the relationship with her son, but somehow it was brought up. And it made me realize why people have a problem with Monique. At this rate, I doubt she will ever get an apology from Tyler and Oprah because she speaks so much about calling people up instead of out. But is this calling them up?
I want y'all to understand something about me. When I have communicated something wrong, I'm a bitch who's gonna say, I'm sorry. I'm a bitch who's gonna own what the fuck I said. I'm a bitch who's gonna walk in what the fuck I said. And I owe two motherfuckers an apology because I communicated some shit wrong to them some years ago. Tyler Perry said I have to give him and Oprah Winfrey a public apology. And I'm gonna give it right now tonight in front of you niggas in Albany, New York. Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, I wanna apologize for telling y'all to suck my
Monique has mastered the art of bullshit. Out of all of the problems she's had in Hollywood, not once has she looked at herself and went, maybe I'm the common denominator. It's always someone else's fault. And she always tries to use the black community as her reasoning for why she's saying or doing something distasteful, when in reality, it's all for herself. This doesn't mean I don't think the gatekeepers of Hollywood shouldn't be exposed if they're out here doing people wrong, and I believe in equality and fair pay for women and black people in entertainment. But it's something about Monique that screams disingenuous. And if you didn't notice, anyone who disagrees with her, she has something bad to say about them.
Eddie, thank you so much, my sweet baby, for having us.
Why you keep thinking them and not me?
You know what, brother? You're going to hear yourself a lot from me lately. You're going to hear yourself around the world because we have to explain brothers like you. We do. And when we watched that movie, Birth of a Nation, and we saw that man walk his wife into that master's house, we watched him walk his wife in. Then we watched him go back and get him. You're that brother. I thank y'all for your time, my babies.
Thank you.
So when I get Whoopi Goldberg on the flip saying, them little ones coming behind you, you better give a damn about you. That crushed me that day in her dressing room because, see, Whoopi Goldberg told me the salary she makes from The View, and that hurt my feelings, that you've been there for 10 years and you accept them paying you that, and you telling me, don't worry about the little one coming up. God damn if I ain't got to be worried about you too, because you accept that salary. It makes it hard for me. And how hard do you think it's going to make for the one who ain't here yet? Because you accept that salary.
Yeah,
It is.
What do they teach there?
Let's talk about
What
this
do they
situation
teach
you've been
there?
going
We're
through.
going to talk about it some. What do they teach at the Fry, Gerald?
I don't remember.
They damn sure don't teach football.
Dealing with this situation on Netflix. Let's talk about that real quick, because a
I
lot
have
of
been,
people
my
are still
sister,
posting
and you know,
about it and talking about it.
We're
and I
dealing
know
with
you're feeling-
inequality, and we're dealing with disrespect. And we're dealing with, oftentimes, we don't know how to talk to or treat one another.
Right.
And when you walk into situations like that, you have to speak loudly and clearly to let the people know you won't be disrespected nor mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
So when I walk into here, son, and you don't even introduce yourself. See, that's what we deal with in a place called Hollywood. Because oftentimes I sit behind this position and I don't have to do that. That's why, if you notice, I had to direct my conversation somewhere else till your energy got right. Till you then decided to say, okay, now let me introduce myself, because I can't talk to someone that just says, "You ready? Let's go." That's why I have to say we got to learn how to.
Well, yeah, but
respect
you also weren't
and
even making eye
appreciate.
contact with me the whole first part of the
I
interview.
couldn't, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because when we walked in, you didn't even address us, sis.
Well, I was busy wrapping up something else with the
I
TV
understand,
station,
my
so I
love.
apologize
but
for
when
that.
it's your
but
show,
yeah,
because I've had those,
Right.
I'm sure you know, we always make sure that we welcome in our guests, because without our guests, we don't have a show.
okay.
There's constant drama surrounding her name, but she's not difficult. This is the woman that made a PSA telling everyone to boycott Netflix, but then went back and did a special on Netflix and it had the nerve to not be good. DL wasn't lying.
Monique, if she'd have spent as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash.
I was highly disappointed when I watched, and I expected it to be top notch after everything she went through to get it. This was a queen of comedy at one point. And now the only time we hear about her is when it's some drama and when she's talking about Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. And we are so tired of Sidney. The response video that they did to Shalon's video was hard to watch because Monique should be able to speak on the relationship with her son without him interjecting with his long-winded parables and metaphors.
There's an old saying.
I felt heartbroken for her son, and everything he said about her in his video was confirmed for me when all Monique and Sidney did was deflect and talk about his mental illness and all of the monetary things she's done for him. It's like everything he stated went over her head. She completely missed the point. You can't buy relationships, especially not with your children, but this seems to be a common theme with kids and celebrity parents. They're often neglected and put on the back burner for fame and fortune. It still doesn't make it any less heartbreaking though. Monique's lack of accountability affects her career and her relationship with her son, and it shows. What mother posts text messages between them and their own child? And the text messages that she posted didn't help at all. It just confirms what everyone already thought. She's not concerned with being a mother to Shalon, at least. These were Monique's own words.
The time that when he was a little boy, I wasn't interested in being a mother.
Shalon's multiple responses to Monique made it clear that Sidney is not only a problem in her career, but in her real life as well. And she's the only one who can't see it. Her daddy has her brainwashed and out here looking crazy. Their relationship is a prime example of what happens when you pick a man over everything, including your own child. He's just one big conflict of interest, and I can guarantee if she stopped letting her husband get involved in things that shouldn't have anything to do with him, half of her problems would be gone. I think if anyone was feeling iffy about Monique, this is probably the thing that sealed the deal. Because family trauma hits home for a lot of people. I know that I'm looking at Monique sideways right now because loving and caring for your children should come easy, but some just don't have this story, unfortunately. Monique was once that auntie that everyone watched in movies and TV and loved for real, and one of the top female comics, and now she's known for her constant drama and complaints about the industry, and rich people problems that most of us will never have. To some, she's real and a martyr fighting the good fight for the people, but everything doesn't have to be a fight, and I think a lot of people are starting to see through the facade and bullshit that is Monique. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and nobody gets labeled difficult for being nice. And the recent drama with her oldest son, Shalon, doesn't help.
They called me and told me to watch this goddamn TikTok of your son. And I watched that shit. She said, I want to tell you something. I said, ma'am. She said, that nigga. And when the elderly people tell you, that nigga, you ain't that nigga. She said, Monique, I'm 80 years old, and I got a son 60 years old. He still tell me how up I was when he was 10 years old. That nigga.
So what do you guys think about this whole situation? In my opinion, Monique is definitely the problem, and her husband doesn't help. But tell me what you guys think, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Gossip Snob for more videos, breakdowns, and deep dives about your favorite celebrities and reality stars. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.